All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and great glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations to the elect, pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth in truth and in sincerity. In this particular video, I want to touch on the tensions between Russia and the United States. All right, you got a lot of talks about World War III right now. All right, so I want to unpack that. We're going to get inside of this article, play a video, some screenshots I took, get inside of some definitions, and get a couple verses in Ezekiel 38, and we're going to close it down. We're not going to make this video too long. I'm going to try to make it as precise and concise as I can. So let's start off with a proxy war. What is that? What is a proxy war? Because you have America actively in a proxy war against Russia. So what is a proxy war? It is a war instigated by a major power which does not itself become involved. So America, for a long time, was in a proxy war with Russia. You have a war going on between Ukraine and Russia right now. And you have America doing what? Giving Ukraine financial aid, giving them missiles and weapons, so forth and so on. So it's instigating that war, but itself not really getting involved. Now, some time ago, you had Russia, and this is not too long ago, it's maybe a week ago, Russia saying, hey, we need to talk, America. We need to talk. Because Putin did not want U.S. weapons, U.S. missiles to be used in the fight that it's having with Ukraine. Putin says, well, you in this fight then, if they begin to start using your weaponry, so we need to talk. And what's funny about that, because Biden, before that, told Zelensky, which is the president of Ukraine, told him, do not use U.S. weapons in the fight that you have with Russia, because that would be World War III. But now you have Biden coming out and saying he gives Zelensky the stamp of approval to now start using U.S. missiles over there in Russia. Now it happened. You see that? It happened. Russia tells U.S. ambassador it will retaliate over Sevastopol missile strike, which Sevastopol was the largest city in Crimea. All right. Moscow blames U.S., says retaliation will definitely follow after U.S. supplies missiles in that proxy war. You know, see that? After U.S. supplies missile attack kills at least 4. It killed at least 4, including children, and injured 151 people. And you know, Putin is pissed off about that because that's U.S. missiles that just got launched. And Biden already acknowledged that it will be World War III if that happens. All right. Russia has blamed the United States for a barbaric attack in Crimea that replied on U.S. provided missiles and killed at least 4, including children, and wounded 151 others. Russia's foreign minister summoned U.S. Ambassador Lynn Tracy on Monday and accused the U.S. of waging a proxy war and said retaliatory measures would definitely follow. You see that? And I'm not going to read too much of that because in this video, he's going to be reading a lot of what's in this article, but he's going to say other things too. But you see that? Hey, these tensions are heightening, man. Zelensky just used U.S. missiles over there to strike, whatever. They were shot down, and one of them, they were shot down, and the debris fell on the beach in Sevastopol and killed people and injured a lot of other people. You see that? And they were U.S. missiles. So, hey, you have Putin mad about that, and Putin also coming out and saying, what? Okay, since you want to arm my enemies, I'll arm your enemies then. You see that? Now, we already know that Russia was being a guard to these little war nations already. Let's take North Korea, for example. Russia backs China. And China said that if there's a unprovoked attack or there's attack on North Korea, then it will get involved. And who backs China? Russia. So Russia, it is in behind, the scenes protecting North Korea. Not just that, Iran. There was some tensions between the United States and Iran. It was on the news a lot at a point in time. You had Trump sanctioning Iran a lot. Well, you had Putin actively saying that sorry. You had Putin saying that it's going to do whatever it can, do whatever they can to render the sanctions put on Iran useless. You see that? Being a guard to these little nations. When the United States tried to take out Nicolas Maduro over there in Venezuela and try to place their puppet in his place, who was Juan Guaido, you had Russia deploy troops over there. And also sent 2 nuclear-capable bombers over there. And they said that was a move straight out of the Cold War. They said Russia did a move straight out of the Cold War. So you had Russia already being a guard to these little nations. Now you're hearing Russia saying, you know what, since you want to arm our enemies, we'll arm your enemies. Starting with North Korea, Cuba, and Venezuela. How about that? So Ezekiel 38 just jumps out at me. All right, this is Ezekiel 38:1, and we read, "And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against them." And this is talking about Russia. When it's talking about Gog, all right, let's talk about Russia. It says, "And say, Thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws." Right? He's going to turn Russia back into what? He's going to turn Russia back into that spirit of hating America, that Cold War spirit. All right? When you put a hook into something's jaws, you can manipulate, you can wield it. Think about it like fishing. All right, when a fish takes that bait and it bites down on that bait, it puts that hook into its jaws. That pain hit it, and you jerk that line. That fish is trying to actively do what? Turn away and run back, swim off into the ocean. And you're doing what? You're jerking that line and reeling it in. You turning it back. The Lord said He's gonna turn Russia back into that spirit of hate in America, right? "And I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords." You see that? Military equipment. It says, "Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmets," right? All of them, with their military might as well. This is some screenshots that I took. All right, there's some screenshots that I took because they said Persia is Iran. In 1935, the Persian government changed the name of the country from Persia to Iran. So just proving that when it says Persia, it's talking about Iran. But Salakia, I want to get it. Says Persia, talking about Iran, Ethiopia. You see that? Ethiopia. I typed in what's the nations that want to join BRICS, or that is joined with BRICS. What nation? Okay, I said list of nations that's joining BRICS. As you see it right there in my search engine. You see Ethiopia. You see Iran. Right? It says, and Libya with them. And that's another screenshot that I had. Bear with me real quick. It says Russia also regards Libya as one of its strongest allies in the Arab world and has supported stabilization of the country following the aftermath of the Libyan civil war. See that? So it's one of the strongest allies of Russia. Russia considers Libya one of the strongest allies. It says, with them, shields and helmets, preparing to go to war. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarma of the north quarters, and all of his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepared for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia is a guard unto what? These little war nations. You see that? Russia is a guard unto these little war nations. And that's what I wanted to grab out of that. So you have Russia coming out and saying, hey, we're going to start arming your enemies. These little or weaker nations that you pick on. All right. So with that, let's get inside of this video. I hope that was edifying. I ain't stumble over my words too much.
Conservative U.S. members are now coming out and slamming what has unfolded, saying that this has put World War III on overdrive. They are saying the attacks that have taken place in the last 24 hours, that this is going to be causing World War III. As I mentioned, Russia is now coming out and saying that they are summoning the U.S. ambassador to let them know that they will be holding the United States accountable for what is taking place, threatening the United States, saying you will be punished for what has unfolded on the beaches of Crimea in the last 24 hours. Now, also, this comes as we were told that Putin had just threatened U.S. territories. This came out from Russian news. And also, we've also seen that Russia has said that they are requesting a dialogue with the United States to discuss nuclear war and the next steps that could be unfolding here, seeing if there is any way to de-escalate the situation. Russia has also said they're considering changing their nuclear doctrine to change the escalate to de-escalate clause to preemptive attacks if they feel threatened. In addition to that, Putin also says that they will be potentially delivering weapons here to North Korea and the enemies of the United States as a result of what has been unfolding with the U.S., Ukraine, and Russia. And now this coming out today, again, June 24th, 2024, this is breaking news coming out that Russia is now saying the United States will be held accountable. And if you are wondering, we're having U.S. Members of Congress coming out and saying this is an overdrive of World War III. Prepare now, because it appears that World War III is inevitable. There is no way to backpedal out of this conflict. We're moving forward, especially with the attacks that took place, as Russia is saying that the attacks that hit in Sevastopol, that those missiles, they were U.S. missiles, and they are telling the ambassador today that they're going to be holding them directly accountable for what has unfolded. So I'm going to be sharing with you the latest on this coming out today, June 24th, 2024. Now, before we dive in, do me a quick favor. If you appreciate the updates, keeping you up to speed on everything that's going on, please hit that like button for me. It just takes a second. This will spread this out to more people so they can know exactly what is going on with these threats from Russia coming against the United States today. In addition to that, hit subscribe to stay bots. So please make sure that you're subscribed, turn on stay connected. You can know what is going on. You can see them for yourself, and you can see that these have come out in the last 24 hours. So a lot of people say, Steve, how can we trust you with the latest news? And my answer to that is always trust no one. Don't even trust me. I always cite my sources so you can see them for yourself, verify the information. If you want to see what it is that I'm looking at, it's linked in the description for you. So let me go ahead and share with you the latest, though. And again, we've got almost 1,500 people live with me in the room this Monday, almost 500 likes. Do me a favor, 60 more people. If you appreciate the news, hit that like button for me. And I'm going to go ahead and get you caught up on the latest on this. Now, I've seen several different news articles on this one. This one is coming out from Al Jazeera. So this is actually a foreign news outlet, but I've seen BBC reporting on this, Fox, several others, of the attacks that have unfolded in the last 24 hours. Now, this one says, coming out today, Russia has summoned the U.S. ambassador over the barbaric missile attacks that hit the beach of Crimea, ending the lives of 4, including children, and injuring 151 people. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Moscow said on Monday today that it has now summoned Ambassador Lynn Tracy to tell her that it directly blames the United States for Sunday's missile attacks close to the city of Sevastopol. Since Russia invaded Ukraine in February of 2022, Moscow has persistently claimed that it is effectively fighting a proxy war with the West, aka the United States. A recent decision by the U.S. allowing Ukraine to use weapons it supplies on targets inside of Russian territory risks escalation and will incur consequences, the Kremlin said. The Ukrainian attack on the Russian-occupied Crimean Peninsula was conducted with 5 U.S.-supplied Army tactical missile systems, or ATACMs, missiles, the Russian Ministry of Defense said on Sunday yesterday. It added that 4 had been shot down and the 5th had detonated in midair. The ministry claimed that the U.S. specialists had set the missiles' flight coordinates on the basis of information from U.S. spy satellites. So in addition to allowing them to use missiles, Russia is now saying that the U.S. is using their satellites to help provide information to Ukraine to hit Russia. There has been no response from the United States on this, which began supplying Ukraine with the missiles earlier this year. Such actions by Washington, they will not be left without a response, the foreign ministry said in a statement on Monday today as it summoned the ambassador. There will definitely be response measures, Russia said to the U.S. ambassador regarding what has unfolded. Now, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov called the attack absolutely barbaric and said in a news conference on Monday today that Moscow, they will be reacting to the U.S. involvement in these attacks. You should ask my colleagues in Europe, and above all in Washington, why their government is ending the lives of Russian children, he suggested in the reports present. Children, he suggested.
Yeah, you see, they even provide them information from U.S. satellites so they can help Ukraine target Russia. That's hey. You see why Putin pissed off? Hey, tensions of World War III it's at an all-time high right now.
In the reports,
we at the end. We at the end, Akim.
Now the consequences. Peskov also.
I must say though, clarify it. The MOTB has to happen first. All right, so we ain't gonna wake up and nukes gonna be, touching down. The MOTB has to happen first. All right.
To refer to the comments by President Vladimir Putin about arming countries to potentially launch strikes on Western targets. So what we're hearing is as I've been sharing with you, Putin is talking about arming various different nations that surround the United States that want to do harm to them, adversaries of the U.S., equipping them with missiles. Last week, he agreed a military alliance pact with North Korea, causing alarm among Western allies. Russian officials have recently warned that the Ukrainian war is entering its most dangerous phase as of yet. Putin has repeatedly warned of the risk of a much broader war involving the world's nuclear powers. And again, what's coming out today on this is that this is putting into overdrive World War III. This coming from members of Congress. We're hearing conservative members saying that what has unfolded in the last 24 hours, Russia is directly holding the United States responsible for this, but directly blaming the U.S. for these attacks in Crimea, which Russia annexed in 2014 and now considered to be Russian territory, although most of the world considers this to be a part of Ukraine, is a step further in that direction. We perfectly understand who is behind this, Peskov said, adding that it was clear that who supplied these weapons to Ukraine aimed them, and they provided data for them as well to make these attacks. Of course, the involvement of the United States in the fighting, as a result of which peaceful Russians are losing their lives, cannot but have consequences, Peskov said. Which ones exactly? Only time will tell, they said, as they are saying that they are preparing for a response to this, as they are saying that U.S. missiles not only were sent into Russia, but also were provided data and information on where to hit from U.S. spy satellites that gave Ukraine information on Russian areas.
Hey, you see it. If you want to watch the rest of the video, you see the title right there on your screen. I suggest brothers watch the rest of the video. Also, some other information he gives out. I suggest you subscribe, actually. Hope it was edifying with that. I'm going to say shalom.